Hi everybody, welcome to my second processing video. I'm naming this Adore Those Lashes. This is my middle child Shelby. She's a senior, she's 18, and I've been trying to get a picture of her beautiful lashes for a while, so I just kind of like went through her Instagram and found the best one that I could, but they still don't give them justice. But anyway, this was kind of different and fun. So let's get started. Here I just randomly pulled out some things I thought might work. I know I wanted to do a gray and pink theme with this layout, and I'm just showing some cutouts there I took from the vintage collection paper pack I got at Michael's. That's actually sheeted paper, and I just cut out some of those. That bottle cap says Sassy Pants Soda, and I love it because she is my mini-me and redheaded and can be a sassy pants. Here's some more of those Zig Winkastella brush markers that I might be using, and I'm just showing you some other miscellaneous things. This die cut I got at a crop like 2 years ago, and I knew I wanted to use it for Shelby, and I've yet to use it, so I'm pretty excited about that. Just some doilies and some miscellaneous things I'm going through. Most of them I don't end up using. I really wanted to use this gray banner I just got. I got at clearance. It was in a pack of Heidi Swap. And these are those cards you just saw in my haul from Becky Higgins, or no. Yeah, well, they're Project Life cards, but they were the Maggie Holms Flea Market. And I'm just showing you some scraps of paper I might be using as well. Oh, these are at least 10 years old. There's some rub-ons. And the ones up top, you couldn't see, but they were already changing color, so I want to try and use those up. Here I'm trying to pick out some gray paper to go with some pink I already have pulled out. And I'm just matching up with this picture. You'll see me pull things in and out. It's a pretty gray stripe. Oh yeah, I'd also pulled out some Pebbles and crepe paper transparencies. I love this gray with cream hearts, and I wanted to use it so bad, but it just wasn't fitting the color of gray on that one. It's odd. I don't know if it has blue in it or what, but it just wasn't working. That's a very thin chevron gray I end up using. I'm trying the B side of it, which is that stripe, but I end up using that very thin gray chevron. And the background of it is also gray, so obviously the lines are darker, but it just worked better. Another reason I don't think I picked this heart paper was because the patterns of the cards and things I was pulling out was the same scale, and I thought that they would be fighting each other, whereas that thin chevron stripe just seemed to work with everything else. And here I'm just pulling out my accessories to kind of see which of those background papers I want to use. Okay, here's some oldies but goodies. This is Dotty For You by Close to My Heart. It's a paper pack I've had forever, and I decided to go through that because of the name Dots. I was thinking, I remember the gray polka dots, but I didn't remember some of the other patterns in there, and I came across this fabulous pink chevron, and I was like sold. I went in there looking for gray, and I found that pink, and I'm like, it's matching. It's matching, so I pull it out. I was really excited about that. That's going to try and be my philosophy here with you guys with my tutorials, because I'm just getting back into the scrapbooking thing. So I am excited and wanting to buy new things, but I really have spent a lot of money on older supplies that I would like to use. So I'm going to, oh gosh, that's old, me and my big ideas, but it's a very pale pink, really pretty. So I'm going to try and incorporate old with new in each of my layouts. Can't always promise, but I'll try. I'm just showing some washi tape and some pink cart glitter tape and twine that I don't end up using on this layout. I know that Hello one is from Pebbles. I think the rest of them are from the crepe paper. That one has some green, and I'm thinking, I love that pink and gray heart, but I don't end up using that green one just because of the grain. One of my usual standbys for my inking process. This paper looks white, but like I said, this is the very thin dark gray chevron, and I'm using this honeycomb stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, and I'm using some tinsel Heidi Swap Color Shine, and I'm just barely going over it. I just wanted a hint of something else because I have some other ideas for those corners, and I think I pull it up a little bit. There we go. It's just enough. I love it. I did my video a little faster this time because I didn't want it to be so long, but it seems a little jumpy, so forgive me, but I'll figure these tutorials out. Now this is a Heidi Swap stencil, and there's 4 different patterns on there. I'm choosing to use the hearts, but there's stars, circles, and something else. I can't figure out what I'm using this old, I've had this for a couple years too, Texture Magic paint by Delta. It's dimensional paint, and you see me squirt it once, but I do squirt it again in a second one because I decided I wanted to use 2 shades of pink. So here's my Tattered Angels, and here's my Primrose Color Shine. If I remember, I will type everything that I used in the description bar down below for you, so you know what I used. And here I'm just using a toothpick and stirring them up. See my 2 shades of pink. I'm going to start with the lighter pink. Now, I've never done this before, people. So this is my first attempt at using dimensional media here, but I gave it a whirl. I'm using an old cake spatula. When we lived in the Azores, I made cakes for a living, so I had tons of these. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to use these. Here I start at the top, and what makes it to the bottom makes it to the bottom. So I wanted these hearts to kind of have different colorings to them, and I think it turned out really, really well. Here I'm just using washi to put it down below, and I have to cover up some of these stars, so because I'm putting the angle differently, but I did a good coat, so I packed it in to where it was level, and then I just tried to scrape the remaining off the top, and then I'll go in with the pink, and I'll do the same thing I did above. What makes it, what doesn't, but you'll see later on the up close photos at the end, I go regular speed on those, so you'll see it really well. But isn't that pretty? And from the Tattered Angels and the Heidi Swap Color Shine, they both have that iridescent look to the spray, so it gives that to the hearts as well. That's just an old dryer. That may have been close to my heart eons ago, but it still works, so I use it. Okay, here we go. I'm starting to take some of that gray metallic. I decided I wanted to border her picture. Now here on this particular layout, I don't do any outlining, but I do shading. And I'm using that London Fog Memento ink that you saw me hold up earlier. I'm leaving a space at the bottom because I'm thinking that that's where I want that laser cut lashes to be. And so this is like chipboard, so I'm not sure how I want to color it. I know I want it light. I don't want it too heavy, so that's why I'm deciding to go in, instead of paint, I'm using that London Fog Memento ink and dabbing it on with that sponge. And then I'm going to go over it with my Wink of Stella brush marker in glitter silver to see if I like that look. And then I'm going to go over to the other end of it, other side of that lashes, and just go over it with the silver over just the chipboard without the ink being on there prior to see which look I like the best. And there were some areas that was not inked when I went over that was showing through, so that's why I decided to go with what you see on the left. So I'm going to do the whole, I'm flipping it over now to the correct side. But that's a way to test it without it showing, obviously, as being on the back. So I inked that up and it's setting to dry. Here I'm taking some of that close to my heart paper, and I'm thinking I want to put that behind the pink and gray photo transparency. And it's a really cute look, and I really liked it. But in the end, I don't believe I used it because I wanted some of those hearts to show through that I made with the dimensional paint. I cut that chevron paper down to size and put it behind my picture. And now I'm just getting some scrap newsprint paper. You'll see me cut it up and ink the edges here probably, but I had a variety of pinks to work with and choose from, but I let that pink chevron stripe paper from Close to My Heart lead my direction because I really wanted to use it because it is an older paper, but I loved it so much. And the chevron is actually cream, it's not white, so it works well with the hues in this layout. Here I go cutting. I swear that strip of paper has lasted me forever. I just use little bits of it here and there, and it's just such a great fill-in piece to use. I did get it this summer, so it's from a recent collection. The back side is a diagonal red stripe. I love, love, love this card with the pink hearts, and the cream is pretty intense. It goes well, but so I use it in little bits here and there. You'll see how I just kind of manipulated a little bit, but I knew I wanted it in there. I just thought the pink hearts were adorable, and they went with the dimensional paint ones that I had done on the background paper. But I played with this for a while. And these cards, too, that you see me tucked in, I end up cutting off the rounded corners because that's how they came, because nothing else was really rounded corners. So I ended up squaring those up, and I saved the very tops that are rounded later on, and I use them like a tag, you'll see. I fiddle around quite a bit with this layout, and I now realize I really wanted to use that acetate banner because I've never used that before on a scrapbooking layout. So I was really excited about it, and it was gray, and it was perfect gray. But I fiddle so much with this layout, I later realized it was because of this banner. It just wasn't working, and I thought it was everything else. So I just happened to pull it off to think about it for a while, and then I did something different, which you'll see later, which I loved, and I'm really glad it worked out. So I'll use it, just not on this layout. Not to mention, I think because the scales of those two patterns are similar, they were just fighting each other and pulling from the picture instead of, emphasizing the picture. Some people are so great at layering, and I just have to, it's practice. Practice makes perfect. And there is no rule to layering at all, I don't think. I see people just throw them together. Oh my God, it's Emily is amazing at it. And, she just goes to town and makes it look so easy. And then I try and I'm like, what am I doing? Here I go. I'm inking up the edges there, and it just really makes it pop off the page. I like it. The only thing, the only thing I didn't ink was the edges of the main piece of cardstock, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. So I guess we're going to roll with it. And I will cut out the center that's behind that picture, just not to waste it, because I really like that paper, so I know I'm sure I'll be using it up on another project for layering. That's that other Close to My Heart, and I'm not sure what pack that came out of. It was not sold as an individual piece of paper, but it was kind of an antiquing pack. I remember it distinctly. I'll have to try and find the name of it in case some of you have it in your stash, but start going through your Close to My Heart stuff and just start looking through those individual pieces of paper, and you'll be amazed, even though it's been years. Well, any pack, not just Close to My Heart. Look through your old Stampin' Up! Or your old Me and My Big Ideas, whatever you have, and I think you might be amazed at how some of the old can really fit in with the new. And you'll be happy you're using both, It's like when your kids are little and they have a ton of toys and they're all over the house, and I just ended up one day, my dad said, listen, take half of them, put them in a bag, and put them away for a few months. And I'm like, no, they're their toys. He said, just trust me. Let them play with the other half. When they get bored with those toys, after a few months, then you pull out the ones you would put away. They'll think they're... All right. So hopefully this records okay. My computer stalled there. I have to remember to keep it going as I'm talking, and I forget that sometimes. I can't remember what I was talking about, so I guess it wasn't that important. I think I was just talking about sometimes your old stuff will seem new again. But then there are those pieces that you look at it and you're like, why did I buy this? I'm not digging it at all anymore. So, but there's plenty of people that would love to have stuff like that, you know. So Goodwill it, or, you know, find an organization maybe that, or send it to the kids' teachers at school. They'll use it for something. Some of these pinks I'm realizing just aren't going to work. But I insist on... Did you see my frustration? I was like, what's going on? I can't think. I swear when you go from studying to scrapbooking, it's using a different side of your brain, so it takes me a little while to warm up. But the layout I did after this that I'll post next week, I just whipped it out, not a problem. So see, this one wore me up, and the next one I rock and rolled, so it's all good. I'm starting to commit here, and I'm taping things down, or adhering things down. Oh, I jumped ahead. Okay. So apparently what I added here was a black doily. I did try some white, and I inked the edges with gray, and I just didn't like the way it looked. And you can see now where I had that acetate clear plastic banner, now I have this dark charcoal piece, and I used my Martha Stewart scallop punch, and above the scallop it has a little dot that it pokes in there too, so I really like that a lot. And I used, they were made by Wilton, that black doily up there. It's almost like a charcoal gray. It's not quite black, but it does have some shimmer to it, and I really liked it, and I just got that at the cake decorating section in Michael's. But here I'm cutting out these bottle caps from the vintage collector pack I bought at Michael's. Now I'm seeing that they have accessories to go with it, but I did cut these out from paper, from a sheet of cardstock. And that one was on the edge, so I know I have to put it on an edge, but I don't end up using that top one. That top one said looking good. And again, that pink one that's off to the right says Sassy Pants Soda, and it was just perfect because if you know Shelby, she's something else. She's so funny. Her personality is wonderful, but there's times, I tell you, trying to find a home for that little thing. So glad I figured out, you know, you don't have to use those transparencies just over pictures. And, you know, it is, I've seen people use them as accessory pieces. Tracy and Nicole and, gosh, Nancy, my little kitty scrapper. She's so cute. Tuesday, I know I'm forgetting some people, but I see everybody cut those apart. So this is my first time doing that as well. So I have a lot of firsts with this layout, but I'm really digging it. I was having trouble. I just bought that Tombow Mono glue I showed you in my haul, and it's okay. I have trouble with it wanting to come out, though. I think I'm just going to stick with my Scotch, my heavy-duty Scotch glue that I've been using. I really like it, and the tip is just as pointy, so, but I've never had troubles with the bottle, so it very well could be the user using it too. Not necessarily a design flaw, but it's the person using the product. Yes, that would be me. Oh my goodness. I wish I had a circle punch that shape. That would just make things so much easier. Maybe I need to go shopping again. But I skip ahead. You don't see me fussy cut all of these things. There we go. They're magically cut. Isn't that something? Now I'm pulling out from that tray. Now that tray was just the inside piece from the Project Life Maggie Holms cards I bought. I'm going to do something else with those cards because they're just hard to get in and out of those things. But that plastic tray just pulled out of the box, and I'm using it for my embellishments until I can find a tray I really like to use. I was using these paper bowls from you know, that you would, you know, maybe put potato salad in or something at a picnic, and they're just big and bulky and tall, and I knock it over with my hands all the time. So this one's just works better. Some of these placement ideas, I don't know what I was thinking. Like right here, I'm watching it now and I'm like, Robin, what the heck are you doing? I just didn't know. That brad is from My Mind's Eye that I got at Michael's, and it was on clearance. It was a pack of like little words and brads and banners and such, but it was gray and it's on top of a gray striped little circle. I end up taking it apart, but I love that brad because it has kind of a doily look to the brad, and I thought it matched nice with the doilies I put on the page. I think I end up adding one to the bottom of the lashes. Oh, you missed, I must have cut out the part where I put down the title. So the Adore is the rub-on, and the small little glitter stickers that I wrote, that I put the word those for Adore Those lashes, they had some glitter on them. I got them at Michael's, just a very tiny font, and I tried to use my Wink of Stella marker brush over the Adore to make it pink, but it didn't work. It was just like plastic, so it just came right off. So I used that pink and colored in the word those over that glitter, and it's really cute. And then the lashes, of course, is that laser cut chipboard piece that you saw. I got that for like $3, and but I saved the web address on the back of the package, so I'll put that in the description bar below so you guys can see, maybe if you like. I don't know if they have a website, so anyway, you can check it out. And here I'm using the Sweet banner that I got out from, gosh, I got that and that pennant that says pretty on it, and the pennant does not make it on there, but this little Sweet banner does. And see, I took that brad apart and I used that, so that looked really cute and I liked it. Now I have some foam dots too or pop dots that I put under like that bottle cap, but those are really thick and I didn't want that banner sticking up a lot, so I have thinner foam like square pieces from Scotch. I put that under that tail, so it popped it up just a little bit, but not too much. Now the scalloped piece that I used my Martha Stewart punch on, that goes along the bottom of that pink chevron, the part that gets cut off, I used those little pieces. When you pick up your punch, when you're done punching out your strip, you have all these little tiny pieces underneath, and people usually just discard those, but I keep them. And I used them going across underneath where it says lashes. You see the little waves there? That's the part that got cut off of that scallop. So I used that to put under there. I thought that dressed it up a little bit, and I put the rest in my bowl for another time. And you can see I added that black doily there. This layout took me a while just because I was just not thinking right. It was just one of those evenings. I did this last night, so I think it took me about an hour and 45 minutes to do, but I wanted to keep the video on the shorter side. Here I'm using my piercing tool. See, I took that pink strip out from behind there. Now it's just that the heart showing from the dimensional paint I did. I'm adhering that camera with a brad that I got from Stamping Up. It's silver and it has a little pink jewel in the center. My mother-in-law ordered me some things from Stamping Up this summer, gave me some of her stash, so that's where I got that from. I thought it was a cute little addition. I was thinking about putting that cluster down in the bottom right corner where there's nothing there, but that's silly. Then I have 4 sections and your eye doesn't really know where to go. So I really wanted to emphasize the picture and the lashes, so that's why I did my clusters this way, and I think it works out just fine. As long as you love it, that's all that matters. I'm using this little, it looks like a little bottle cap as well, and I ordered that from 2Ps this summer. They were on clearance. It was a little pack of them, and it'll be in the description bar below, but Inside it, it says love, and it's gray, and it has cream writing in a little cursive script, and it says love. And here's another one that doesn't end up making it. It's a little pink doily heart inside that one. Here's one of those cards, and I'm reading just some of the little words, and I'm going to cut them out and ink them up because that top cluster's needing a little something. And that thing keeps moving, so I'm going to get out my vellum tape runner. It's old, but I was like, it wasn't coming up. It's just been a long time since I used it. I finally got it going. But it doesn't show, and I think that's by Tombow as well. It doesn't show behind. Sometimes it shows with the vellum, but it does not show with these photo overlays, which I really like. Just a little busy working there. All right, so this strip here I wanted to shorten, and I'm going to use it as a tab. As you can see, I did with the gray polka dot way up top. And so I just use, once I cut it down, I use my corner rounder to make the other edge round to match. And I spritzed it a little bit with some mist, but I held it far away so it has just a barely there texture of mist on there. And I really like the look. And I think that that's where it finds its home. It's right above Shelby's face. I love that pink. And see, even with that cream being different shades than any of the other off-whites there on the page, I've toned it down because I've put the one behind the photo frame up top, behind the transparency up top and below. And then it's just that little bit used as a tab above her picture, but that's okay because it pulls in with that sweet tag that I have to the left there under that doily cluster. Here I go with the corner rounder again, and I'm going to mist it a little bit. Yeah, there's the mist. I was like, I know I missed it. Held it off to the side. I was really, really happy how this page ended up turning out with as much trouble as I had getting started. And I love gray and pink together. I told you in one of my very first process videos that that was a color combination back in the 80s. I wore a lot, gray and pink. And I was like, I'm going to bring that back. So why don't you guys think of something that you used to, color combinations you used to wear when you were younger, and see what you can come up with for a page. I don't know. You have to find inspiration in all places. I'm bringing in some more words here. I think I'm going to put that under that sweet tail banner. I try it somewhere else first, but I end up putting it there. Here we go. I am so glad I just kind of jumped in and tried the misting of the sprays first with that honeycomb template, and then I did the dimensional paint. I see people do a lot of things with watercolors and such. In my next project, my next layout I'm going to put up next week that I did right after this one, I used watercolor, and I'm just so pleased with it. Art is art, and I don't really think you can mess up. But there's lots of people out there that sure can give you some good ideas and inspiration. And that's what I love about this group on YouTube, this scrapbooking group. Everybody's so, welcoming and generous. It's not a competition thing. There's so many talented ladies out there, and you guys inspire me all the time. And if you're one of my followers from my nursing part of my YouTube, just the feeling of creating makes you feel successful, because in nursing school you don't always feel so successful. So anyway, yeah, so give it a whirl. Even if it's just photography or cooking, find something that relaxes you, that's creative and not so black and white and has to be this way and you're wrong if you don't select all that apply. So I promise it helps. Since I've been scrapbooking again, actually, and do not laugh, but my test scores have gone up some. I have just, I'll take an hour here and there every couple days and make a page, and I really enjoy it. I think there is such thing as studying too much, and I think that's what I was doing and confusing myself. So taking a time out for me has been great. I just, there wasn't a lot of journaling. I just said Shelby Ray, ... Your eyes are to die for. And then I put age 17 because I wanted to remember how old she was here. So I think we're probably close to the end. I'm going to slow it down so you can see my clusters up close a little bit better, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. I've had just an explosion of them lately. The scrapbooking community is wonderful, and I definitely appreciate all of your sweet comments and encouragement and help as well. Love, love, love. Just enough to show some detail with that honeycomb in the mist, but not too much. Here's my goofy girl. She's a redhead, but she had done a filter on YouTube, so it's really hard to tell, which is good because it tones it down for this pink and gray theme. But again, thank